Okay, hello and welcome. My name is Travis McEwen. I am your instructor for CIS 236 this fall quarter. So this is Cisco Networking 1. I wanted to go ahead and do a quick little introduction video for you all, give you a little overview of the class as a whole, kind of how it's set up in Canvas, and then some of the other material as well that we kind of need to know about. So I'll dive into it. I'm going to try and keep this a little short and brief. We'll see what we can do. So first thing you'll see once you log into Canvas is you should see this kind of intro page. Kind of just have it set up so that there are a bunch of different little hot links for you right out of the gate, so you know kind of where to go. You can also, all the navigation for all this is also set up right over on the left-hand column over here. But we're going to start with kind of looking over the syllabi as a whole. So from the syllabi section, again, today is our start date. End of the quarter is December 10th. A couple kind of important items to kind of go over is to kind of look at how your assignments are grouped and weighted. So there is a midterm and a final. Both exams are two parts. So there's a written exam and then there's a hands-on component as well, basically a practical. So it's a total of 25% of each, both your midterm and your final are worth a total of 25% of your grade. Then we also have your labs, which are worth 20% of your grade. These labs are essentially what you would have been getting if you were in person in an actual lab room, or would be pretty close in essence. So they're labs that we've created using a program called Packet Tracer, which is a network emulation tool. It's kind of a build your own type of lab. Well, you follow along with directions that we've provided. Should be pretty good. Then we move on to chapter exams. Chapter exams are worth 5% of your grade. These are exams that are hosted on NetAcad, which is Cisco's Network Academy, which is part of where this course and some of the resources are going to be hosted as well. This 5% of your grade is essentially supposed to be a free 5% of your grade. You have multiple attempts at these exams, and I take your highest score. So it's trying to be a good self gauge for yourself on your knowledge that you've and kind of what you're retaining, where you might have additional questions on. It's not supposed to be a punishing aspect. Then we have our assignments, which are 20% of your grade as well. These assignments are the Cisco packet tracers that come from NetAcad as well. They're related to the chapter exams. So that's where you're going to see for those, that's what belongs underneath that category. And then we have our muddiest points, which is another 5% of your grade. Muddiest points are essentially another kind of low effort 5% of your grade, where the point of it is that you will submit a question onto Canvas that basically is asking a question related to the chapter that we are covering or prior chapter that you would like some additional clarification on. And what I will do is I'll take all those questions, post them onto a discussion board anonymously, and then you'll have the following week to answer each other's questions. So that's kind of the goal there. Moving on, a couple of things to kind of note too. Book-wise, so technically your book is free if you want it to be free. It is provided to you in an online format, so you do not need to go out and purchase a hard copy of this book unless you want to. There are copies available though. Only thing to note is that if there are any discrepancies between the hard copy of the book and the online version of the book, online wins. So just keep that in mind. Other things to note, your midterm will be roughly around the 6th week of the quarter. Your final will be roughly around the 12th week of the quarter, or the final week. The exact dates will be posted as we get a little bit closer. And then last little thing that I'm going to talk about in relation to the syllabi is this is the most important part, which is what do you need to get in order to pass and move on to the program, and more importantly, be able to graduate with this degree. You need a C or better. So you have to get at least a 74% in my class in order to move on to the next Cisco networking class, and you need a C in every class in order to graduate. So you need to be able to get at least a 74 or better in order to move on. So with that, a couple things I wanted to also cover as well underneath the modules section. One section is we are going to be trying to use Microsoft Teams. So Whatcom Community College is is starting its transition over to Office 365. As part of that, we are utilizing, we get Teams. Downside with this is that this is the first time I've used it in this capacity. I use Teams on a daily basis for other work, but in a in this environment, this is the first time using it for kind of a classroom situation. And because it's in the very infancy or early stages of kind of this O365 rollout, we're testing a little bit to see if this is going to work. If this doesn't work, or it's becoming too much of a pain to get it working, I have a backup plan that we'll just switch over to. But we're going to see what we can. So, what do you need to know for Microsoft Teams in order to work? The important thing is you need to log into it with your student Whatcom email address. You can't log into it with your personal email address. The reason for this is if you try and log into it with a personal email, Teams associates you as a guest. And right now, it does not support any guests being able to join a team via the two methods that I have at my disposal to invite people onto it, which is either with the invite link that you see there or below, which is the team code. So what you'll need to do is log into O365 with your student Whatcom email address, and then either download Teams and log into Teams, or you can go into Teams through the web client and click on the link. And in theory, it should let you join the teams I've created. If you have questions about it, or if it doesn't work, please let me know as soon as possible so that I can either try and make it work or get a backup option running. So other things to kind of go through, I do have a bunch of resources available and posted for you all throughout this. The first couple weeks are posted and published as well. I'll try and always keep a few weeks unlocked ahead of time so that you can always work ahead as you go through the material. If you have questions at any point in time, again, feel free to send me a message via Canvas messaging, or send it via directly my email. I prefer that you send it via Canvas messaging because it will automatically associate you with this class. And so I know exactly that you're part of my class and I know who you are. So other things to kind of note. Netacad. So everyone that was registered for my class, I added and sent out course links. So I manually I added all of you to the Netacad course. You should have received a course invitation, or you should be able to log into it. If you previously had been able to log into this, you should be able to, or have had a Cisco class or a Netacad account. Is your same credentials. Your email is your student Whatcom email address. When you log into it, you'll see a launch course. And so it's going to make me log in really quick. So I'm going to just pull off the side here, and I'm just going to log in quickly. And so what you'll see when you log in is you're going to see this page, which is basically the NetAcad course section. So it hosts the book itself, which you can click right there. And if you click that, it'll open up this section, which takes you to the online version of the book. And then we'll also be doing the chapter exams as well, and I'll be unlocking those exams as you kind of go through them, or as the dates kind of get a little bit closer. And so this is where you're going to be taking your chapter exams. So NetAcad is where you're going to be getting, again, the book, very important, and also where you're going to be getting or taking the chapter exams. Now, the other thing that we're going to be doing as well is you are going to be using Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer is a network emulation tool. So it allows us to essentially open up and practice working on Cisco equipment, similar as if we were actually working uh, on the actual equipment itself. So, for example, what I just opened up is the very first packet tracer assignment that you guys have to complete for your homework, or one of the packet tracer assignments. And I'll create a separate video here in just a little bit that will walk through a little bit more of what Packet Tracer is, how it works, and do a little bit of a walkthrough of these actual devices as well. Now, where do you get Packet Tracer? It still comes from our NetAcad site. Where you're going to go once you've logged into it is up in that top left-hand corner. There is a resources option, and then you'll go down to the download Packet Tracer option. And from here, you'll scroll down and you'll select whatever version you need for your operating system. So if it's Windows, Ubuntu, or Mac. Now, you should be downloading the latest version, which is version 8.0.1. That is what you're going to be using for this quarter. So please make sure that you download the latest version for your class. So last thing that I wanted to kind of go over really quickly, if we go back to it, there are a large number of videos that are already created and posted up for all of you for every single chapter. It's all ready to roll. One thing to note really quickly is that these videos have been created by another instructor at Whatcom Community College who also has taught this class as well. Stephen Rose, and so we'll be using his lecture videos on top of some of the material. I've gone through and proof checked all of them. They all look great. And so there will be those lecture videos. I will also be adding a large number of my own supplemental videos as well, for example, such as this one that I'm creating right now. So just if you start this up and you're like, that's not Travis's voice, don't worry. You're correct, but don't worry. You're still getting the correct information. Everything is fine. One thing that I do like to point out too is that if you don't want to watch the video here on Canvas, you can download the video and watch it on your own PC or whatever device you want. So with that, hopefully that gives kind of a general overview. If you have questions on stuff, please feel free to let me know. Again, send me a message in Canvas, and hopefully Teams will get up and rolling. All right, thanks. Bye.